Greetings, family. Greetings, family. This is Brother Coasty X with another message. Today, this message is about why. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are you here? What will this do for the world? I'm going to share a story, a quick story. My life has been an interesting one, I believe, but not as interesting as other people's, perhaps. It has been a tale of confusion, of awkwardness, isolation, cowardliness. I was not the most outstanding as I could be. I did not embody my truth for quite some time. In fact, I was quite lost. I was living other people's lives. And it was because I did not know who I was. I did not understand the idea of respect. And like so many people, so many who are lost, I was swept away under the currents of social pressure, social conditioning, parents, friends, media. They told me what to do. But I had this itch, and it's what made me stand out and stand away oftentimes because I knew that there was more. I just didn't know what this idea of more was. I've thought about things differently. I've contemplated on certain ideas. I remember one time as a young boy, I would stare, well, not one time, but I remember as a young boy, I would be in my room and I would stare out at the wall, but my mind would go into this idea. I grew up in a Christian household, and this idea that was presented of heaven, of living forever. I would stare out in my wall, but it was really into my mind, and I would contemplate what forever really meant. And I would build. I could actually begin to put myself in this place where I would live forever in heaven. And it became such a fanatical idea. It scared me, it jarred me because I had to really break down the concept of what I believed to be time at that moment and what it meant to really live as an eternity. And this was as a young man, 7, 8. And I'm sure those that are watching this have similar experiences where your mind takes you places. You can't even sometimes comprehend the depths and the complexities and the power that is in your mind, but you know that your mind is powerful. You're here for a reason because you know that there's more to you, there's more to your life, and you're being called. And we're going to get into the discussion for just a moment of what I started with. Why? Why are we doing this? Because our world is sick. Our world is truly sick, and we know it is sick because of the commonality, not the commonality, but the occurrence and normalcy of savagery, of these negative decisions that plague our society, plague our world: genocide, murder, theft, killing, drug abuse, drug use, ignorance, poverty. These are symptoms of a world without proper knowledge. And it is us that will usher into a new world of proper education. Knowledge is a bed of facts. Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge, and education is the teaching of how to think. The education that we have been conditioned into is not true education. It is a system designed to rid you of critical thinking, but instead place within you what to think. And we have erroneously confused that with knowledge, with wisdom, with proper education. And it is us, you and I, those that are watching this, that will usher in a new way of thinking, proper thinking, use of your mind. That is what we are doing here. We are using our minds properly, because we will begin to think critically. We will begin to think on the edge of things. We will challenge the status quo. We will dive into the roots and the edges of what we believe to be true. And we will replace this idea of belief with knowing. Belief is not fact. And we must begin to extract this idea of wanting to believe everything with instead knowing. Education is meant to inspire us. Thank you to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who invoke this system that has been left for us. And we are to apply this system of knowing who we are, what we are, so that we may impact the rest of the world. How we do that, we discussed that in class 1. Independence versus autonomy. But we are here to construct a new world because this world is sick and this world is dying. So we have to begin the process of creating something new. And the only way we can create something new is by altering our thinking. Not even altering, but changing our thinking. We will discard everything and think totally differently. We will begin to think, and then we will think correctly. By starting our process of thinking and analyzing and observing from the root source of all, which is God. Well, let me take that back. It is Allah, the singularity. And from that, God was created. And God is us. And we have to remember and realize this fundamental truth. The power that rests within us and our mind. We have power. The brain is so powerful. Why are we here again? To unlock that dormant potential, which is gate-kept by the current educational system. We are rewriting the educational system, starting with ourselves, and we will share this knowledge and embody this knowledge so that those who have the eyes and the ears to see and listen can take it and use it. You have a very important task here. So you're faced with two choices. Learn on this YouTube channel, the Interdisciplinary Academy for Limitless Growers, or you can take your studies deeper with us and engage in conversations and dialogue and discussions as we continue to grow by visiting IALLG, which is the official home for the Interdisciplinary Academy for Limitless Growers. Join a $75 a month donation to an institute that will continue to grow and evolve and impact this world. You can be a part of that. As you begin to change your thinking, as your thinking is challenged, so it can grow and it can expand. In the absence of difficulties, growth is also absent. So you must be challenged and you must be stretched, but you also must be around like-minded people. We will dive into another discussion on the idea of mirror neurons and empathy neurons. Another discussion, but I want to give you a breakdown and understanding of why we are doing what we are doing. My father passed away 8 years ago. And he passed away because of ignorance. He did not understand his body. He did not have a control over his mind, and most likely he was not connected with his larger reason for being, and therefore he went down in a downward spiral to his destruction. I don't I find it sad sometimes, but I also find it very logical what happened. He lost the education of self, and at that time, in his sphere of influence, there was no person providing that deeper education of self. And for a very long time, from his childhood, there was nothing there. And so these psychological patterns were embedded in him. It became his character, and the idea of character is so not talked about that it was most likely not apparent to him, like it's not apparent to most people, that your character is not fixed because your thinking is not fixed. It is limitless. But when you don't understand that, when you don't know this, you will hold this idea and this notion that you are who you are. And what you are now is what will always be, but that is not the truth. You can always grow, you can always expand, but until you understand the knowledge of self, you won't comprehend that message, and you will be stuck in patterns that don't serve you. And so you will live life from a very fixed perspective instead of seeing life as an eternal unfolding of that which you can be a part of and an active participant in. This is the message that we are bringing forth. This is not my message. This is our message. And I'm just a vessel, one of many, to carry out this knowledge. And I invite you to join me. Go to IALLG.com to join our actual club, but if not, be an online member via subscribing to this channel and sharing it with your friends and partaking in the lessons. Again, this is Brother 𝐁𝐫𝐶 signing out. Peace, family.